Hello, everyone. I am Demetra K. Hope you're having a great day. I am here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. He was missing in action last week because he was out and about. Maybe he'll tell us about it later. Maybe we're too young to hear about these things. Anyway, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, to my wonderful moderators, thank you for all that you do in holding down the comment section. It is much appreciated. I will tell you right now that it is blazing saddles here. I'm hot. I'm already sweating. Don't seem like I can cool down. Donovan's making me even more hot, but not for the reasons you think, because he's got a sweater on. Candace like, why? Why, sir? Do you have a sweater on in this muggy hot weather? Okay.
My AC is kicking. It's an iceberg in here.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, y'all. So, and Mike Nice, how you doing? Troy, what's going on? And Brian D-Mac, hope you're doing well. Clifford, hope you're having a great day. Let's go ahead and get into it. So anyway, unfortunately, I have a very terrible, unfortunate story to tell you guys about. It happened earlier this week in Houston at the gallery. I'm going to put her picture up because I think that her picture should be shown. Nevertheless, I'm going to read you from City of Houston News, okay? Now it says Houston police are investigating a fatal crash in the 3600 block of South Freeway State Highway 288 South about 9:30 p.m. on July 23rd. The identities of deceased females, and I'm going to get into that, but basically the title is Two Teens Unalived After a Boosting Trip with Their Auntie at a Houston Old Navy Goes Wrong, okay? So it says the identities of deceased females 16 and 15 is pending, and we know who they are now. I'll show y'all just a few. Notification to the family members by the Harris County Institute of Forensic Science. It says HPD Vehicular Crimes Division Sergeant E. Fendia and Officer Fenagolio reported HPD patrol officers received information about a vehicle involved in a shoplifting traveling in the 5000 block of Westheimer Road. Officers located the vehicle near South Rice Avenue and West Park Drive and attempted a traffic stop. The driver failed to comply and initiated a pursuit. As a suspect vehicle entered the Interstate 45 interchange, it was involved in a minor crash with another vehicle. 4 females exited the vehicle and started running westbound across the freeway, while the southbound lanes of South Freeway, a white Ford Explorer and a black Honda CRV struck 2 of the females. Houston Fire Department paramedics pronounced them deceased at the scenes, and I'm going to show you them in just a few. The driver of the Ford and Honda remained at the scene and showed no signs of impairment. Officers took 2 other females into custody. Deandra Mercedes Cook, 30 years old, is charged with misdemeanor evading on foot in Harris County Criminal Court, number 16. A booking photo, here it is attached to this release. The second female suspect was 16, was referred to Harris County Juvenile Probation Authorities on a charge of evading on foot. The name and photo of juvenile suspects not released. And so basically, that is the auntie, 30 years old, went out with 2, well, actually sounds like 3 of her nieces, and these 2 babies here. Micaiah, I hope I said that right, and Micaiah Beck, 16 and 15, were in that vehicle that was evading shoplifting, boosting, if you will, at an Old Navy Gallery of all places, which is a high-end mall. I guess the auntie did not want to, get caught for, obvious reasons. She's stealing, right? They were with her in the store. Again, they got into an accident, jumped out, and these 2 young ladies were hit by a car. And so 2 sisters and their family has really no way of taking care of their final wishes. And I want to read to y'all what the GoFundMe says. So give me just a second. Hold on, let me find it. Is this it here? Hold on, let me find it. I just found it. Hold on one second. Okay. So I guess it's their family, maybe their mother or whatever. It's basically saying, it is with unimaginable heartbreak that I share the tragic loss of my beloved children, Micaiah Beck, 16, and Micaiah Beck, 15. Both of their lives were taken far too soon. Our family is left devastated beyond words. They were full of life, love, and endless potential. They brought so much joy to our lives, and their absence leaves a void that can never be filled. No parent should ever have to endure the pain of losing a child, let alone two. And I am struggling to find the strength to navigate this unimaginable loss. Unfortunately, we are not prepared for this tragedy and do not have life insurance for them. The financial burden of funeral and memorial expenses is overwhelming, and we also need help to bring them back home so we can honor their memories and say our goodbyes. I am reaching out to friends and family and anyone who finds it in their heart to help. Your support will ease some of the stress during this incredible, difficult time. No donation is too small, and if you're able to give, please keep our family in your prayers and share this fundraiser with others. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your love, support, kindness, and prayers as we navigate this unimaginable loss. And I do see that they have raised almost $10,000, and they're asking for $13,000, I guess, to for the funeral, and all of those things. Now, I will say this, and their mother's name is Letitia Beck. And it sounds like they live in Iowa. Okay, so maybe they were visiting the auntie, or whatever it is. So, which is why they want to bring them home. So, I want to just put this up for a lot of those who don't know what boosting is. Boosting is stealing goods or shoplifting items from a store. Okay, because a lot of people are kind of hearing this term really kind of for the first time with the inception, if you will, of Young Miami's song. It's called Spin That, and she talks about boosting. But I want to say this right off the top. I've seen some narratives, she's glorifying boosting. Even though Young Miami is glorifying boosting, she is not making anybody go out there and boost, okay? Now, normally, if you're a booster, right, from what I understand, if you're a booster, normally you're taking stuff from, a store or whatever so that you can sell it on the street to, people who, and some people take orders, right? Boosters say, okay, what you got? Or what you want. I want to size this, that, the other. So these people, they go and they take these things. Okay. So now that we've gotten through the technicalities of what happened, I want to say, first of all, my condolences to the Beck family, as I cannot imagine, as the mother said, losing one child, but two children. But I think the elephant in the room must be addressed. And that elephant in the room is that they were with their auntie, an older woman, right? At least by 15, 14 years or so. She's the authority. The other niece was in the car. She was not harmed, but she did go to juvenile hall or whatever it is. They also said that they do not have any direct information as to whether the girls were actually boosting, if they were just with her or whatever it is. But the elephant in the room is that the older woman, I'm going to put her back up here. Okay. And right now she's just being charged with evading or shoplifting. I don't know if anything's going to come down the pipe for her. But the elephant in the room is you're the older woman. You had your baby nieces with you and you took them to commit a crime. You took them to go steal from something. I don't care what it was. It wasn't yours. Okay. And not only did you do that, once you were caught, you did not want to, face the music per se. So you took them on a high-speed chase. It sounds like got into a freeway, harmed somebody else's vehicles, and then jumped out the car, did not secure your nieces, and they were run over by cars and died on the scene, okay? Now, I've seen all of the narratives about it, calling her everything but a child of God. Something tells me, I don't know if she's still in jail. But when she had a moment to sit down and realize what she did, she'll never, ever forget that her actions led to the unaliving, if you will, of her baby nieces, because she felt like it was better to take the narrow road, right? That's what we hear. The road to hell is not the narrow. The road to hell is wide open. The road to salvation is narrow. She decided, as my father would say, to take the path of least resistance by taking something that did not belong to her. I don't know what she was going to do with it. Now, some people are saying, Navy of all places is, you get 70, 80% off or whatever it is. I don't care what it is. She took her nieces to go commit a crime. Now, something tells me, I'm assuming maybe it's her sister or whoever it is who these children belong to. I'm quite sure she didn't send her children to Houston or whatever to be stealing and then eventually have their lives taken. So this here is a very loaded conversation. I want to have a very respectable conversation about this because as I've been saying lately, and I'm going to keep saying this, we can who ride on everybody else's community. They doing this, the Asians, Hispanics, all this other stuff. But we at some point in time have to have a conversation about what is going on in our own community. Because as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said, that the nation can rise no higher than this woman. And I also want to concede that it's not all Black women that are out there doing this, but we have heard about this a lot, you know, this boosting in any city, really, especially, I guess, maybe during the pandemic, and it wasn't just us, right? But it seems like these boosting rings just kind of just boosted, if you will, came out of nowhere. But we have to have the conversation about the responsibility of a mother, of a woman, of a caretaker that is entrusted with the lives of other human beings, and they decide to go out and do something that some would say is heinous, but it definitely led to something that was heinous, right? How do you explain to anybody that I wanted to go steal some t-shirts or whatever it was out of Old Navy, and I thought it was worth the life of my nieces who may or may not even been involved, right? Now, most of us have hung around older women, whether it was an auntie, a cousin, or whatever it is, and so when you're that young, maybe you look up to your auntie or whatever. And I don't know if they were involved or not, but to be teaching them that and not setting a good, listen, if you don't want to set a great example, okay, great. But setting a bad one, there's no excuse for that. So I don't want to ride too hard on Deandra, as I'm sure whatever consequences she will face, it will be one for an eternity. She'll never, ever forget. And I'm sure her family will never, ever let her forget that. Instead of acting like a broke so-and-so or stealing and going out and getting it honest or getting a job and somebody say whatever it is. And believe it or not, some people steal just for the thrill of it. Some people lift other people's things just because I can, right? Some people have the money and I'm going to take it anyway because it's the thrill. But I want to also say this to anybody who's thinking about doing this kind of stuff. Big Brother is everywhere. Big Brother's everywhere. There's nothing you can do nowhere. Okay, I can't even walk outside right now and scratch my head. I was gonna say something else, but I want and not be caught on somebody's Ring camera, an eye in the sky, a Tesla. It's always recording. So there's not a such thing as a perfect crime. Now, again, want to keep in mind that she's 30, old enough to know better. But I want to know from y'all, Donovan, where do we go from here? Like, how do we fix this? And I don't know if it's a culture of boosting or degeneracy. Like, I don't know. I'm lost for words because this is very heartbreaking to know that two beautiful little girls, and put them up here one more time so y'all can see them. They'll never age past 16 and 15 due to the silliness of their auntie. Donovan.
Yeah, this is another tragic situation within our community that goes on, and it gets highlighted in the news, and then we keep saying, oh my Lord, why? I'm gonna have to agree with you. It doesn't matter what Cardi B or the boosting girl from the City Girls, whatever they say, we are so quick to put the responsibility of what we're supposed to be doing on the government or on somebody else, but we never look at ourselves and say, hey, I screwed that one up. I'm the first, and I can only speak for myself. When I screw up, hey, I screw up. What's for dinner? You know what I mean? It's not that big deal to know, you do it. But we've come to, we're in a society today, and I was talking about this on my podcast a while back. We're in a society today where there's no accountability. Society says you don't have to be accountable. Oh, you're out there having babies with multiple baby daddies, and I'm just using the ladies for this example. There's no consequences to stop it, but you're going to make the consequence on the man. Oh, you're not taking care of your babies? We're going to lock you up. There's no consequences in our society for a lot of these young people today. Everything should be free. Demetra, I was watching a video today on YouTube about what's going on in Cuba right now and socialism. And these kids and these people that think everything should be free right now in real time in Cuba, go look at socialism working in Cuba. Go look at socialism working in what's the next greatest Cuban thing? I think Cuban's the more pure form of socialism that's happened. We know because of the embargoes or whatever. But the point is, they cannot support themselves because Russia is no longer supporting them. These programs that they have in these countries have to be paid for. Now, also, we also got to remember as we delineate, and it doesn't matter what it is, as we delineate from these other groups, you guys are aware they are finding out that FBA, black crime numbers have gone down significantly since delineation has started taking place. Because before, you got black skin, you're all doing the crime, right? They throw us in one big pool. Now, since delineation, they're saying, wait a minute, that's a Dominican, that's this person, and that's that person. So for our young ladies, and this is my opinion, you don't have to agree with it. Feminism has told you guys a lie. Feminism has told you you are not accountable for anything that you guys do. You guys believe you're equal to this and you're equal to that. There's got to be accountability for what you do. And this lady's getting it right now. The accountability is coming right now. Oh, girl, you don't have to listen to nobody. For those of us that have been married before, when you got married and you wanted to stay out late at night, who did you have to let know you wanted to stay out late at night? Your spouse. When you go to work and they tell you to be there at 7:30 versus your usual time of 8, who are you accountable for? Where in this world are you going to be a grown person and you're not accountable to somebody? But we're giving false narratives to these young people that think there's no accountability to anything that they do. There's no consequences. So what? No big deal. And this is what's happening. And it's very sad because in our community, Demetra, I do not understand it. Why does these parents have not insurance on their children? I bet you those teenagers, I'm not blaming the teenagers, but I bet you they had a cell phone. I bet you they have cell phones. If you can afford a cell phone, why can't you afford a $10 policy bill to pay for your life insurance policy for things just like this? Oh, the white man. Do you guys realize that 70% of the white man's wealth comes because of life insurance? These people you can't tell me all these white people are rich. Most of their money comes from life insurance. But we got cell phones, we got the latest Jordans, we've got this. Another tragedy in our community, and it's sad. And again, I'm going to call out what I need to call out, and I'm going to land my plane here. Fellas, you need to get in your children's lives if you're not with the mother anymore. At the end of the day, regardless if this woman is raising the child a certain way you don't want them to raise, if you are not being influential in your child's life, at the end of the day, all of this falls on you. It falls on you. Period. Point blank. It doesn't make sense. If I have children out there and they're with the mother, my children should have insurance. For the mere fact that the children aren't with me. For the mere fact they're not with me. I'll land my plane right there.
And once again, hello to everybody. Miss Sweets, what's going on with you? Y'all see some of y'all have an issue with the little girls' names. I will say, the names, honestly, is the last of their concern and ours at this time because they're no longer here, right? They have been unalived due to, I would say, the actions of their auntie, right? She's the adult. She was supposed to care for them and make sure that they were good and taken care of and not out there boosting and all these other things. And as somebody said, boosting, it's they're thieves. Yeah, but that's the term that people like to use. And boosting is not a new term, and it's not something that Young Miami has come up with. And hey, how you doing, Thunder? Was it you, Thunder, or somebody else? I think it was Johan that basically said that Young Miami, it's her song. She's semi-responsible. I don't think she's responsible at all. I don't think that my Young Miami has any responsibility because I hear plenty of songs, right? I listen to gangster rap when I'm on the treadmill, right? And I don't think about doing those things at all, okay? So the action belongs to the person that's committing the action. And I think when we get there, then we'll understand. It's like they say, the devil made me do it. Well, who is the devil? Is the devil you? Is the devil something with some pitchfork, horns and a pitchfork? What? And who is the devil? The devil, some would say, is your mind. Okay, as the cartoons would illustrate, you have an angel and you have a devil. The devil's sitting there and you need to do this, and the angel's like, no. So what is the devil? Who is making you do something outside of your own will? Okay. So is it a song that maybe one should be concerned with? Yes, I would concede that. But it has no power to make you do anything. Now, I also agree with the life insurance. I don't care if you're a criminal or not, you should have life insurance. Now, I don't know, for whatever reason, I've been having this conversation a lot. Maybe it's just divinely inspired. But as my older brother would say, if you do not have life insurance, especially if you are at the helm of a family, you are a piece of beep. You put you fill in the blank, okay? And I'm going to co-sign that, because at this day and age, there's no need to be having a GoFundMe. GoFundMe is not a life insurance policy. Like, how many times do we got to say that? I do not give the GoFundMes. I'm just not going to do it. You know why? Because I have my daughter insured. I'm insured. My parents had insurance, right? And so on and so forth. It is your responsibility to make sure you are, and anybody you touch is taken care of. As I always tell you, and I'm going to get into the comment. Hey, Brother Rodney, how you doing? Sister Monique. I used to sell life insurance. I don't sell it anymore, but I've heard it all. I've heard all the excuses. I don't want to leave them rich. Oh, there's burial insurance. And I'm like, See, death is going to happen. Nobody evades death. We don't really know when, unless you know when, right? It's going to happen. Life insurance is to protect against that. And so when you see these two little girls, and may Allah be pleased with them, and their mama's begging for life and burial money or to get them back, why? I know that's like we're having a bunch of conversations, but these are the things we need to be talking about. Anyway, Naima, you say she didn't care about their lives in that moment. She risked their freedom by stealing while in her care, then risked their lives by driving reckless, causing an accident, having them run in traffic. Like, what was in the car, lady? I go to Old Navy every once in a while. I ain't never seen nothing in there that I need to steal or run because I got it in my bag, right? Monique, he says, hey, Donovan and Demetri, keep up good work. I appreciate you. And Brother Rodney says, hey, family, Atlanta checking in. Appreciate your work, research, and important conversations. Always in prayer for you. Always excited for you. Post podcast. When I love you for that, Brother Rodney. And thank you for all that you do, reposting and just, inspiring and keeping me motivated. I cannot express my love for you enough. Reputable Magazine OG, say like number 60. And I'm sorry, I don't know what that means, and I want to address something Donovan said in just a second, but I want to get the comments down. Diane in the building. Jim, he says, this is what happens when you give the Democrats all your independents. Ain't got nothing to do with the Democrats. This ain't got nothing to do with the Democrats. It ain't got nothing to do with that. This is a us problem, okay? Because I call it the 3 Ps, and I had a fourth one I'll remember in a minute. The pastor, the politicians, and the parents. And now I know the parents weren't there, but the auntie was in their place, okay? So she's a parent. So that can't be the politician's job that you decide to go in the Old Navy and boost, steal, and then get into the car with your nieces and then have them hop out the car on the freeway and take it in. That's nobody's fault but yours. That is a personal responsibility. Now, I want to go back to what Donovan said about feminism. I don't know where feminism comes into the conversation. Maybe you can help me understand that. But feminism is teaching women that they have no accountability. I've studied feminism. In fact, I was in a feminist class, and they were mad because I did not define myself as one, as I never have been described or thought of myself as a feminist. I was not raised by a feminist, no feminist, and my grandmama's nobody, right? So, but what I know of it, I don't think that's the crux of it, to evade personal responsibility, right? The tenets of feminism is women should have equality to a man, okay? That is the tenets of it. I know it's kind of being redefined here and there, but I don't know where that comes into the play, where an auntie is running across the freeway with her baby nieces and they are unalive, right? I don't know. Janelle, what's going on? And he says, running from the cops result in deadly consequences. Yep. Gearhead, what's going on? Says the dumbest people on the planet blame Whitey for everything. It must be easier to them to admit You're a moron. Well, I don't think whitey has anything to do with this. And I don't, that's the term you use, not mine. I don't think white folks have anything to do with somebody taking their nieces into a store to steal. I don't see how that is their fault. And that's why I said, me personally, y'all, if y'all don't mind, I kind of want to move my content a little bit more. So we do anyway, but to us taking personal responsibility, because yes, we got a lot of things that do things and suppress us, but we got to talk about us. That's the conversation we got to have, right?
Hey, real quick. I want your opinion on this as well, Dimitri. And if you guys in the comments, please continue. Like I said, I love reading you guys' comments. Dimitri, you have the smartest internet audience on the internet. Russell Hickenbottom says, it's the responsibility of the parent who has custody of the child to provide life insurance and everything else the child needs. I'm going to disagree. Because, again, oh, don't worry about that, honey. I got that handled. Oh, the car note. Oh, I'm paying that. How many of you spouses, be it male or female, supposed to pay the rent? They don't do it. You don't know what kind of spouse you might have and how they do their finances, right? Which is totally different than how I do mine. I disagree with you for the mere fact, ain't nothing wrong with having double insurance on your kids if that's the case. Ain't nothing wrong, because I'm not going to trust, if I'm not with my spouse, I am not going to trust, if I have that type of spouse, that she is going to have insurance on these children if we haven't discussed it, or we got a joint plan or something like that. It makes no sense that you are going to, well, she's supposed to have it because she's the custodial parent. I'll be damned. I'm going to assume because she's the custodial parent, she's going to have it. Oh, you put your insurance on them? Well, just in case you lapse on your insurance because, things happen on your side of the aisle, I'm going to have my own insurance on my children so that if anything happens to them, I am greatly compensated for my loss. What do you think, Demetra?
Well, I think whoever's responsible for the child, the parent or whatever, make sure that they're insured, because if that child passes away and that there's no insurance on it, regardless of whose responsibility, y'all could both get insurance on the child, right? The mama, the daddy or whoever, because like I said, I've seen the baby mama, baby daddy fights, when God forbid somebody passes away, whether it's an adult child, the baby mama want to fight with the mama of, her boyfriend or the baby daddy. I'm talking about what a mama, we're seeing this right now with
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yes, we're seeing that. And I shook my head when I saw it, but the Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow is trying to sue the mama because the mama has a family trust, but the money, I guess, that he left in his estate, she says is not going to cover the debt. There are certain things he was supposed to do, like get a life insurance policy. He never did, or he didn't maintain it, fund an IRA. And I give her $5,000 a month for his chief of staff or something like that. So there's a lot of things he didn't do. So she is going after the Warner estate that they probably had forever. So it's everybody's responsibility to make sure that, whoever may pass away and you're responsible for, to make sure that you're protecting against such, an unfortunate event. I don't know. Like I said, I'll continue to have a conversation about life insurance, but sometimes it gets tiring because it's like we pay for a lot of things. But as my daddy would say, we buy what we want and beg for what we need, and not paying for a life insurance policy and then sticking out your hat via that of a GoFundMe is begging for what you need, right? Why should I be responsible for helping you bury your loved one when I know damn well 400 life insurance agents called you, sent you a mailer, knocked on the door, they did something, and you said, I'm good. That's a bill. I don't want to leave them rich. And well, why I'm gonna be dead? Why I'm a worry? I've heard it all. And it's like, all right.
So, Janelle says folks are seeing thieves walk out the door with no consequences. Welcome to California. Welcome to California.
And that's what I mean. Yes, so Janelle, you're right. And a lot of cases, these stores are like, what can we do? I'm not going to run after these people and risk my life over whatever it is they're stealing. I don't understand the nature of stealing. A thief is to me, one of the very worst things you can do, which is why in the Bible it says it was a liar or a thief and somebody, I guess, next to Jesus or whatever it was, right? So, yeah. Let's see who else is here that I did not see. Want to make sure I get everybody. I shall, Miss Sweets. Thank you. And Marbet, what's going on with you? Says, when I was a child and hung out with the adults in my area, we were just dragging the old box TV outside to play fighting games with the rest of the older adults in the neighborhood. What the hell happened to that? Nah, and that's delinquency of a child, and it's just it's just a lot. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think was gonna happen that you go into a store, steal your card, and you run, like Bonnie and Clyde or some damn body, and then you jump on a freeway, and then what do you say? Get out. Did you tell the girls to get out? Like, I'm curious. And somebody asked, did the mama know what happened? I would hope she didn't. I don't think she sent her daughters. I would hope she didn't sent her daughters with her sister, maybe whoever she is, to her, so they could go do that and potentially catch a charge, because the other one has got a charge, and the other two are unalived on the freeway. Imagine being the driver. Okay, you're driving home on the freeway, and then you run into two little girls. And now your whole life is ruined, because my stepfather actually had the unfortunate event of hitting a child that darted out in the street as he was driving. Wasn't driving fast, and fortunately the child survived, but he was messed up pretty bad. And my stepfather never forgot that. He was like, just that, he said, it's something I'll never forget. Never. Matt, what's going on? Says, wow, they didn't know the summer break trip to their aunt's house will be their last. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
hey, and if you guys are ever interested, go look at the statistics and some of the cases in your county, or go to a major city and pull up the cases of young Black women and what they are being. There's a rise. One of the highest groups in the United States. Remember, I have a degree in social and whatever degree. There's a rise and has been a upticking trend in Black women, regardless of your ethnic background. Black women in general, they are the fastest growing group of people being incarcerated. And if you go look at some of the reasons they are getting into the justice system, you will be shocked. These people are being incarcerated for theft of weave, theft of nail stuff, theft of shoes. I mean, just, really petty crimes that go on their thing, and then it escalates to whatever felony, 3 strikes, whatever the states have. But Black women are right now trending as one of the highest groups of people in the prison, not prison, but the justice system.
Al, you said we should do a show strictly about life insurance and money. We can. I just think, I'll do it. I do it. I don't know, like I said, for the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about it for some reason. Unfortunately, people aren't really interested. Not y'all, right? But a lot of people aren't really interested in talking about that. People are more interested about life insurance when they need it and they don't have it, right? I can't tell you the times that people have called me wanting life insurance when somebody is on life support. Is like, that's not how that works, because like, for sure they're gonna die, and the insurance company is like, well, yeah, sure, we'll go ahead and insure that person. How long they got? 5 minutes? Yeah, sure. So yeah. Just not a conversation people want to have.
Yeah, and that's how they lose money. Thunder says life insurance doesn't cost much. You can get a term life insurance and convert it to whole later if you want to. You can get whole life from your credit union without a medical exam for very little. Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's why I don't join banks. I'm a member of a credit union. The credit union will give me $2,000 free life insurance. I don't even have to pay for it. I just got to sign. I'm just a member. That's what I get. Now, if I want to expand it, then they pull that out of my account, whatever. I can get 10,000, 100,000, 150,000. So that's a back way to do it without having to go through a medical exam. So if you're a member of a credit union, check with your credit union. As a matter of fact, my credit union also gives me options. If I have a hospital stay, well, they will pay me for that if I happen to go into the hospital, all this other stuff. But see, we don't do that, Thunder. Unfortunately, we just listen to the whatever. It's almost like we live day by day and hope for the best. And that's pretty much how we survive in this system.
And African Native, he says, what is the affordability of life insurance basic cost for the have-not? It just depends on what your situation is, your health, your criminal record that comes into play. It's a lot. That's why it's advised that you get it when you're younger, you're healthier, you probably ain't committed no crimes. DUIs and things like that are crimes, right? And so basically what the insurance company is trying to assess is, are you a risk? A risk meaning that we're going to pay out on this policy a lot sooner than we want, right? Because keeping in mind, the life insurance company makes money if you live, not die. So with that, they want to make sure that you're going to be around for a while, or to break it down even further, that they can collect as much money from you as they can. Okay. So as far as affordability is concerned, if you don't have a bunch of money lying around, get you a term insurance. Those are relatively cheap until you can do something. Maybe if you want to invest or whatever it is into the policy, there's a lot of other ones, but term, get a term life policy. Okay. It's for a term, whether it's 5, 10, 20, 25, 30 years or whatever, right? It is for a certain amount of time. A lot cheaper. It's better to have that than nothing. There is no excuse. Okay. And I know some people say, well, I can't afford it. Well, you have to. That's why, as a life insurance agent, I would have to go and do a budget. I know there's some insurance agents who will say, oh, well, I got this $200 a month policy for you. You don't even know if I can afford it because you ain't helped me go through my finances to see if I can budget for that or whatever it is. But most people got $10, $20, $30 lying around. Just don't drink some beer as much one weekend or whatever it is. But there's no excuse not to have it. I'm not going to make any excuses for anybody, but yes, African Native term at the very least. Okay. And there's a lot of wealthy people who have term life insurance policies. Okay. So yes, DJ said, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. And Lorenzo, what's going on? Let's see who else. Al says, my son's mom accused me of stealing her thesaurus. Not only was I shocked, I was aghast, appalled, and dismayed. Saint Michael
Al, you still got it, brother. Keep writing them, brother. That was good. That was good.
How you doing? So the multiple offenses part is what's getting them locked up. Yeah, I mean, so you know what though? Sometimes I don't know how many offenses this lady had or whatever, but sometimes all you get is one. Sometimes all you get is one time to F it up royally, and then the rest is history, okay? Because, you'll never be able to walk that back. You can't get those 2 lies back. You can't. Somebody said, do you think that parents will forgive them? That'd be kind of hard to do, right? You just can't come to Thanksgiving no more because how I feel looking at you and you took my babies on a boosting trip and then told them to get out the car and then run across the freeway and they're no longer here. So yeah, you can't come in my house. I'm going to forgive you because that's what's for me. But as far as ever forgetting that you was such a dumbass to where you was I got a lot of words. I'm trying to really restrain myself because some things just don't make no sense to me. Okay. Stealing things that do not belong to you. Like imagine the mentality to walk in somebody's store and take something that's not yours. And they say, hey, stop. Cause that's usually what we see, right? Stop, it's not yours. And then some employee might try to grab the merchandise from you or whatever. And you gonna fight them. You still grabbing it and then you run off and getting it. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Where you gonna go and take some that don't belong to you? Maybe because I don't live in that alleyway, but I don't understand that lifestyle. And one thing I always tell people, and I've learned a long time ago, when you take something that's not yours, you are inviting a curse into your life. You don't know what you're stealing, right? You don't know where that thing has been, or just the fact that you took something that's not yours and you're gonna put it on your body. You don't know what you're doing. You're cursing yourself. It's evil. You have obtained something in an ill manner, causing distress and somebody to be distraught because they no longer have the thing that you took and you think that's okay. See, sometimes the universe, God or whoever, it catch up with you real quick. Because I guarantee the millionaires, she never thought that she would jump on the freeway, get in a wreck, and then her baby nieces get out and they die. I guarantee you she never thought that would happen. So sometimes karma's quick.
Yeah, isn't that called the monkey paw syndrome?
I've heard of the monkey paw syndrome, but I'm not quite sure what that is exactly.
It's basically, you're in a country and you see this monkey paw. It's kind of like, what was the movie? Hellraiser.
Yeah.
You're thinking it's no big deal. Hey, it's just a nice little souvenir. And it's this thing that opens a gateway into hell.
Yeah, like Pandora's box, you're doing something and you think, oh, that's okay. Right. And like you said with Hellraiser was like, we was minding our damn business. You got to plan with this box. Well, hello, I'll be your huckleberry. What can I do you for? Right. And that's life in general. If you think about it, you go meddling, you go doing things that you ain't supposed to be doing. And then whatever it is you meddling in says, I oblige. You may not like how I oblige, but I will oblige. That's why I say, Demetra K, I wake up and I'm intentional. I do not want to do anybody harm because I know what you do comes back to you. One who cares. How you doing? Hope that you're doing well today. Let's see who else haven't I seen on here.
Yes,
Russell.
real quick, you guys hit that like button. It's absolutely free. It helps pushes the algorithm out there and helps get this conversation out to somebody that might need it. You just never know. So go ahead and it's absolutely free. Hit the like button in. If you didn't hit it, just before you get out.
Russell. He says, I'm not surprised that black women go into prison more than any other group. Many are aggressive with bad attitudes. No, many
Well,
are
no, they're not going to jail more than any. They are rising faster. So they're not right now. They're not going. It's just that a lot of them are being caught up in it a lot faster.
Yeah, and I would imagine that's probably true for a lot of people, especially in this day and age. But many black women are not aggressive with bad attitudes. See, and tell me how you come up with this number that many are. I don't know any black women. Okay, maybe I know one. Okay, that are aggressive with bad attitudes. So where y'all mean? I just be wanting to know, right? I don't want to get into this conversation because Lord knows I got enough gray hairs. But where y'all be meeting these women at with these bad attitudes and that are aggressive and where y'all meet these women at? And why y'all hang around them too long is what I want to know.
We don't. We hit it and we quit it. So anyway.
And now you're cursed, okay? Right. Now you're cursed, and you meet all these bad attitude women because you just could not stand not the trampoline, glow the dean, and here you are. Okay.
Exactly, and you know, and the thing is also it isn't just boosting. Things are getting really tough, and then this is why people don't understand when you have economics. The more people you have in a country or in an area, the more the demand is. This is another reason why people that should not be in this country need to leave. What the Democrats have done is that they have created more competition, not only for you to get a job, your children to get a job and to go to the schools that they want to go to. They've created to where you have more competition. The invisible hand of economics says the more people you have, the more demand you have on goods and services. The less people you have, the less of the demand. See, so we've got a lot of our people out there, especially these liberal blacks that are out there talking about tomorrow, the deadline for that extension for the Haitians is tomorrow. Oh, we've got to fight for them. We've got to give them an extension. No, they need to go back. And, you know, and you got to look at it both ways in regards to that. Haitians were here. They 20 something years, some of them, they have houses. Those houses are going to be going on short sales. So those short sales, who could benefit from that? You can. If you don't have a house, you might get a nice house. A lot of jobs are going to be left up, and a lot of Haitians are in the Miami area, and a lot of them are in New York, but a lot of them are in the Miami area. This is an opportunity for those of you guys that have the ability to gain property or get a job and move to Miami that person probably had that now have lost status. So you got to look at it in two ways of what is going on. But the rise of black women, it isn't just stealing and all this other stuff. Because economics in this country is so bad, you guys got to admit, America is broke. We are literally broke taking care of other people. So what is happening is you're going to see a rise, and they've talked about it on a lot of platforms, of women selling it. That is what's happening on Lenox Avenue. You've got human trafficking going on in Lenox Avenue and all over. You guys know what we're talking about. It's getting so bad out here. The rent is so damn high that in order to do what you need to do, a lot of you single moms out there and things, they're outright selling it. So it isn't just boosting. It's also getting caught up in these ridiculous, which I don't think it should be a crime to sell it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, okay. There's a man out there selling it too. Bussy for sale. I said with a B.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, times are tough, you guys. That's where we're at today. America is broke. This is where we are at today. And it is hypocritical for us to sit out here and lock a woman up that is an adult that enters into an agreement to make money for herself and her children. As long as she's an adult, I don't see the problem. If she's my girlfriend or my boyfriend, wait, matter of fact, I've offered your sister $1 million and she still won't take the money.
She said you $1 short, homie. You $1 short. Velvet says black women. And how you doing, by the way? Please stop scanning at Walmart, Targets, because they are watching every move you are making on camera. Yeah, don't steal. Okay, stealing is nonsensical. If you don't have the money for it, then you don't need it. Okay, only get what you can buy. So black.
Well, how about this? I don't mean to cut you off. How about this? You will be surprised. Rather than steal, if you go into the store and ask for the manager and let them know what your situation is, they might help you out. There's a lot of organizations out there. Oh, hey, I don't have it, but you can go over here and they can get it over here. There's a lot of things that you can do. Just ask. People are very empathetic to other people. Trust me.
Lemonier, I hope I said that right. How you doing? You says if you guys look at social media, you see all the black young women on in the act, the food, and that's why they're becoming part of the criminal justice system. Says at a higher rate than anybody else. You have to do social media. I don't know why you say you don't see this in the community. Maybe it's just where you're hanging out in a lot of good black women, but here in Memphis, see it a whole bunch of bad. Yeah, and even with that, I would say I don't think I've ever been to Memphis, but I would say that's not most of the black women in Memphis. And you said something about social media, and I always tell people too, as a young people, say get out there and touch some grass. And I'm not saying this about you, Mr. Hinton. I'm not saying this about you at all, but we got to touch grass. See, the problem with us now is we live on the internet, and we think our whole world is the internet. We think everything that's happening in the world is happening on the internet. It is not. When I'm out in public, I don't see people stealing. Again, maybe it's just wrong time, wrong place. I don't know. I don't see a bunch of black women with bad attitudes. I don't even see a bunch of black men with bad attitudes. So in real life, you just don't see these things. And I would also say maybe it's your surroundings or whatever it is. Now, y'all got to remember to see, y'all got to learn how to study media, which I do, right? I'm in media. I have a BA in communication and a master's in public relations. Not that y'all care about anything like that, but you got to study the media a little bit. You got to know also that the media makes money because you watch, right? Especially now in the age of social media, there's clicks and views and things. So they got to tell you about all the horrible black women out there that's doing this, the Bonnet Brigade. They got to tell you about Ray Ray and Pookie and all the things that they're doing wrong. Then I could tell you that, you know what, the marriage rate in the black community is ticked up. I heard 20%, right? They're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you how boom, boom, Belinda and out there doing all that, and we believe it, okay? Because again, we don't really invest in black media like we should. We watch these white folks on ABC, CBS, and all these other things tell you, oh, tonight we have a story about this thing. That's how the Asians got the hate crime bill. They blamed it on black folks, but in essence, it was white folks. 75% of the attacks on the Asians came from white people, specifically white men, but we got saddled with that, and they got a bill unanimously by both sides of the aisle. They signed the bill, making us the boogeyman, but that was a lie. Okay, but the media ran with it. Why? Because people want to believe, yes, black people are the boogeyman. Do we got issues? Hell yeah. We got issues, but we don't have, well, we might, right? But we got issues like everybody else. But if you sit up and you watch the news, tell lies to your vision, right? All day long, you're going to believe eventually it's all black people. And I will say this, if you are outside touching grass and you all are surrounded by people with bad attitudes, you need to change your surroundings, okay? Because it says evil communications corrupt good manners. Eventually, you're going to be just like that. You're going to have a bad attitude. So if you can't change them, they will change you. So change your surroundings. That's just the way it is. But I don't know a whole bunch of ill acting people because I don't surround myself with people like that. So I hope that helps, dear brother.
Hey, real quick, King Norris is in the chat, which is really good. And Empress Wright is also in the chat. So we got to give acknowledgement. And then for those of you guys that have been rocking with us for a long time, King Norris has been with us almost from the beginning. So King Norris.
Yeah. And Del Monte Green Bean, Sister Shirley, what's going on with you? Lady D said single moms I know going to work. Yeah. So I'm like, what we talking about? Most of single moms I know work. Right, I know there's, but again, y'all gotta let me keep it real with y'all. This is where we gotta have a come to Jesus moment, Buddha, whoever you bow down to. I don't know. Some of us want to believe that black folks are degenerate, that some of us really want to believe that. You know why? Because we got self-hate. We hate our own people. And you know, you could be black and be anti-black. Did you know you could be a black American and be anti-black American? Did you know that? There's a lot of people who walk around like that. They love hearing the dirt. Oh, this, that, and the other. Oh, you see that? Yeah, that's why black people, that's why white. Ooh, y'all know that run me up a wall right there. That's why white people don't like us. Because of that. It's like, you sucker. White folks didn't like us when they put us on those plantations. What made you think they started? When did they start liking us? When did that happen? Right? So some of us, we want to believe the worst in us. Let's see, Russell. He says it's like an old Chinese proverb. If one man say you are an ass, pay him no mind. But if 5 men say you're an ass, buy yourself a saddle because you're an ass. And even that's a lie, okay? Because those 5 men is looking at something that's skewed and ain't the truth, okay? Nobody nowhere is gonna convince me that most black women or many black women got a bad attitude, brother. I want you to quantify that, okay? Quantify how many black women you talk about. When you say many, that means a lot, okay? But that's probably because I know, Russell, I know your source of information is Fox News. And do you know that Fox News was going on with an AI clip of I think it was when the food stamps debacle was going on with the Trump administration. Some body, probably somebody black, made a AI something, a black women crashing out at the damn grocery store because their food stamps got cut off, and Fox News played it because they thought it was real. Fools. So not you, Russell. How you doing? But if that's your source of information, you might want to check yourself.
However, we do have to acknowledge in every community you have a group that acts a certain way and whatever.
Yeah,
and
we got to acknowledge that. But why don't we spend more time acknowledging Sister So-and-so? I always ask the manosphere especially, right? And I'm so glad that stuff ain't on my timeline. Lord, I'm so glad. But I always ask you manospherians, or however you, why y'all never talk about Sister Gloda Dean down the street that's feeding the homeless, that's doing this? She's a pillar in the community. Why y'all don't ever talk about you women?
That's sexy.
Well, right. But so that's what I'm saying. So to say that there's only these black women doing this or these black men doing that, that's a lie. Y'all don't want to talk about the women and the men that's doing something, because you know why? As you said, it ain't sexy. It's not sexy to talk about something that, you know, that's good. That's a credit to our community. We all, if you surround yourself with that about your people, that's what you're gonna believe. And a lot of y'all, not y'all, but them over there, believe white folks, oh, they so innocent, this, that, and I'm not saying they all horrible, but y'all play up to them. And I get the phone calls. I get phone calls of people trying to convince me, oh, black people, and these black people who calling me. That's why I say there's black people who are black Americans that are anti-black too, because you don't like your own people. You listen to white folks, and all these other people tell you how terrible your people are because you are embarrassed. But do you think white folks are embarrassed about everything white folks do? Hell no.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. Do you think Maxine Waters likes black people? Do you think Jim Clyburn likes black people? Do you think Kamala Harris or Obama like black people? They showed you right in your face that they don't like black people. I mean, they talk a good game.
I do you one better. Do black people like black people because we keep voting them in office? Do black people like black people? We keep voting them in office. If James Clyburn and Maxine Waters been in there damn near 40 years and they keep getting voted in, right? I went to a town hall, something like that, this last Tuesday, and I gave them a piece of my mind. Yeah, I did. But there's a lot of black folks up in there. You know, the whole conversation, black girl magic, black girl, that ran me up a wall. I ain't gonna lie. Black girl magic, talking about all these black judges that got elected to do what? What are they doing? That's moving the race forward. I don't know. They might be doing something, but black girl.
But wait. You talking about the black? Are you talking about all those 9 black judges where half of them are now being indicted?
Yes, them. Like it was 17, 19 of them or something. So they were blowing smoke up each other's, you know, holes, if you will, and doing a lot of patting on the back. And I'm like, of what? What? Like I said, this is a glorified pep rally for a white dude who won't even show up to say, hey, Negroes, I need your vote. You got these sister girls. And that's the one thing I say about you, some of you black women. Y'all love white men to a fault. Y'all love white men to a fault. White man tell you I'm not showing up. He shows up here and there. He's starting to, but not really. But y'all got these black women, Jolanda Jones and all these other, you know, judges and all these other people's. One black chick, Tracy Gibson. Oh, she ran me up a while. I'm the first black woman this and the first black woman that and the first black woman. I wanted to say, if you don't shut up. When she says, if you are 92%, raise your hand. I went, so back to my original, to your question. Do black people love black people if you keep voting for this foolishness? Candy says, I'm not donating to a GoFundMe for nobody. A friend sent me a link for a GoFundMe for her daughter. I didn't pay no attention to it. And I don't blame you. And I know that sounds kind of cold or whatever, is because that lady who sent you that GoFundMe probably had somebody ask her about life insurance and she got snooty as a fox. Okay. The snooty fox. I've never been there, but I've heard about it. But she got snooty. Can't ask, I'm good. That's a bill. I ain't got no money. All this other foolishness. Then got the temerity, the gall, wherever that is, to send out a GoFundMe to help you, ask you to help her bury her child that she didn't value their life. Yeah, I said it. If you don't have insurance on your child, you don't value the life of your child. You are a piss poor parent. I don't care. Y'all can get mad. You are a piss poor parent if you do not have insurance on your children. You're a piss poor spouse. If you don't have insurance on your husband or your wife, you're a horrible person, because you'll be the main one with your hat in your hand talking about what had happened was, and I'm gonna slam the door in your face, and I'm like, oh, sometimes I wish I had that old school phone receiver. Bam, just hang up, get off my damn phone.
But Demetra, doesn't make any sense. You can make sure that your child has a cell phone or a tablet and all this other stuff, get the hair, nails done, whatever, once a month, whatever you moms do to your daughter, but you have no insurance. That the fathers do with their daughters and kids, they don't have any insurance.
Hey, boo, you spent your money on what you want to spend your money on, right? I mean, I'm just saying, I can't tell you how to spend your money, but you can't ask me for mine. When you got all the bells and the whistles, you did what you want to do with your money.
But see, here's the problem in our community. One of the many problems in our community, guys, and I don't care if you guys agree with me or you don't. To me, it is the most disrespectful thing that your child is about to graduate high school and you have the nerve to send me a link to help them in college. Your GoFundMe so that they can go to whatever college it is. Wait, that's not my job. That is your job to provide for your child's higher education and all this stuff. But we have no problem putting out a GoFundMe. So, I mean, okay, I'm kind of confused here. Maybe Norris or Empress Wright could tell me, Demetra, maybe you can tell me, when is it other people's responsibility to make sure your children have parties and opportunities and things like that? Aren't you working? What were you doing from the time this child was born until the child is 18, 19, about to go, and then you want to ask me, if you want to join, whenever I get those guys, I'm gonna be honest, whenever I get them, I come from a very big family. I want you to imagine, whenever I get those links, I totally ignore them because, and it's not just because, but the fact of the matter is, it is not my responsibility. And I would never, ever do that to any of my family members. But see, in our community, they've got these mechanisms out here where it's online begging. It's just another way to beg for what you need, without the shame. Okay, I just put this up here and whoever, contributes. Demetra, you said that this young lady has raised about $10,000 so far the last time you checked?
About that.
How much does it cost? The average burial cost? Is $10,000 going to be enough to bury a person in today's modern world?
I mean, maybe they're going to cremate them, but they got to move the bodies. And it's expensive to move, not just one, but two bodies, right? It's expensive. So that $13,000 is really a drop in the bucket compared to what they'll need, probably really just to move the bodies from state to state, And I don't think people really think about those things. You could die somewhere else, Life insurance policy you can give to the funeral home in good faith. They say you got insurance. Yeah, here's the numbers, active. Okay, bam, we can go from there because they know they're going to get their money, right? But yeah, people don't think about those things. Anything can happen. Life is not promised to nobody. But as far as donating to people's parties, if people ask me for something like that, I don't mind, right? People go off to college, they need some help, and they need, they got a list or something they want you to help buy. I don't mind, because I know college is expensive. I got, 3 nieces, nephews that are in college, and I try to send them some money from time to time, and things that they need or whatever.
I have never seen a culture GoFundMe site to go to college to help with college expense. I've never seen it.
You never will, because they got family, right? They got family to help them with that. And that's what family is for. I know that's a weird concept to a lot of people nowadays. My baby says, I saved up enough money for my own cremation in case of something happens to me. I told my brother that I don't want a funeral because I won't be there to care. And I don't want anyone standing over me. Yeah. And those are your final wishes that you are preparing for. A lot of people don't want, well, like you said, you won't be there to care. But yeah, that's your final wishes. And, hopefully your brother will oblige. Brother Thunder says, if you have children and get an income tax return, you can use some of that to pay for the policy or policies up to an entire year. And when it's time to pay it again, It'll be income tax season again. See, Brother Thunder, you thinking too much.
Mind your business. Mind your business. Don't worry what I do with the money. Mind your business. These women are getting all these tax breaks, and I'm not just blaming the women. I'm just the fact of the matter is they're getting these tax breaks, and they cannot account for the damn money. There's no reason why you should not have life insurance. What Demetra? What? I'm gonna speak on one of the policies that I'm paying for myself. One of my policies costs me $30 a month. How much is that a day on average? That's $1 a day I'm paying. But yet, these parents get all this money incentivized in taxes, and then something happens to the child, and they can't account for the damn money. That is why, as a parent, I am not going to leave all that responsibility onto the other parent. Matter of fact, I don't even have to tell her that I put insurance on my children. I will put the insurance, and if something does happen, bam, here it is. I anticipated this. Here, we got this to work with. You see what I'm saying? To me, men, fellas, it is ludicrous as leaders in the community that we're going to leave the financial situation of a life insurance policy on our children. And nothing against the ladies. It's just machismo. I guess that's what it is. I'm not going to leave that burden on her. My children are going to be covered because I'm their daddy.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. African Native, he says, I pay tuition for many of my relatives to study overseas. Many have graduated and have wives and kids today. I was single with no kids doing that, and I still support today others. There you go. I'm the same way. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm the same way because I know it's hard. College ain't what it was when we was going right. $3 a unit and stuff.
When we went to college, RCC was $11 a unit when we went.
And then we still didn't go. But still, yeah, so African Native, I totally agree with you. I'm the same way. You know, if you need something and I got it, you got it. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, I got a few nieces and nephews that are in college.
Right. But then again, African Native being, you know, somebody from the continent, you guys have a different mindset as rather than FBAs where I'm not saying, you know, we don't have it. We do have it, but you guys have a stronger tribe mentality type thing. So it's you know, put it like this. I know my family. Some people in my family, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing it. I'm throwing money out the window.
Yeah, and Black Americans have it too. You know, we do. We a lot of our problem is you know, sometimes we don't have the money. But yeah, I have a very tight knit family. So we do those things. Ms. Sweet says, yes, I heard about that. Howard University is unenrolling students due to them not being able to afford tuition and board. So where's the alumni to help with these students? Yeah, and that's Kamala's alma mater. And then some of those people said we did have the money. I don't understand why we got put out. So
what happened to all the money Trump allotted? See, that's the question. Nobody wants to bring that up. Where is this money that they get allotted every year? It just disappears. And by the way, we're speaking on insurance. Demetra, I have four animals, 3 cats and a dog. You guys, I spend almost $300 a month on pet insurance. And that's because 3 of my pets are older. The older they get, the more insurance costs. I got insurance on my pets because I remember my cat, George, he was a young cat, feral. I spent $20,000 up front. I had to pay. And, you know, he ended up dying like a couple of weeks later, but gave him the best I could give him, right? I got 90% of that back. 90%. So it just doesn't make any sense to me why you wouldn't have at least, like Demetra has suggested and other people in the chat have suggested, term insurance. I have one of my policies, term insurance, that's going to term out when I turn 70. Now, I don't know if I could renew it at that because, you know, that's when they think you're a little older and you're probably not going to make it. But the point is, I have that, at least get that. At least get that, you guys.
Yeah, and Donovan, I would tell y'all now, right now, if y'all having issues paying for health insurance, just die and come back as a pet and then go and to his front porch, he'll take you in. Donovan, boy, them pets are lucky. I'm like, man, maybe I should reincarnate to a black cat or something. But yeah, Donovan he does care for pets. Insurance,
and they have their own credit cards.
Okay, because he's like, I don't want to leave my pets with nobody if while I'm gone, and they make a decision like, well, I ain't got that kind of money. I'd gone and put them down.
Right. If somebody had to make a decision on my animals and I'm not there, hey, the first thing they ask is for the money. Hey, here's the credit card. Just do what you got to do. So
talk about, well, I didn't have the money. I told them to put them to sleep. I didn't know they was gonna put him to sleep forever though. I told him to put him to sleep until he get back. You can wake him up.
see, and the thing is though, with the insurance, I know not just the animal, just insurance in general, you know that your lifestyle or your family's lifestyle will not be disrupted. That's the whole point of it. They maintain the lifestyle that they're used to based on that insurance. To me, Demetri, I'm serious. To me, it should be a crime not to have insurance on your children. Somebody said in the chat, I'm not sure if it was Thunder. The courts mandate that you have health insurance on your children. Why wouldn't they mandate you have life insurance?
Yeah, you would think they would. I know, it's not an expense that people want to have, but damn. It's somebody say, well, in order to put mom in the ground, you're going to need a good 12G. What? How much for a cardboard box?
And even that, a cardboard box is a couple thousand.
Yeah. Thunder said, DK and Don, remember when Deion Sanders was at HBCU and he even said money was coming up missing? Yeah, that, and he was spending money out of his own pocket. It was just a lot. So yeah, they gonna need somebody to get in there and see what's going on. But y'all unenrolling children, who are looking forward to going to college, and they get there, or time to go back to school, and they're like, yeah, no, we unenrolled you. That's jacked up.
Well, let me ask you this, Demetri. You have some HBCU folks around you and stuff like that. I went to Embry-Riddle, the Howard of University of Aviation. But we all know a lot of these students that are going to these HBCUs, to me, I don't understand why a PWI isn't just as good. If you went to Ohio State or something, I mean, to me, it's just as good. But anyway, we know that a lot of them are on scholarships and they're waiting for the federal grants to kick in and stuff. That doesn't happen until like they actually start school in some situations. I've been to college several times. I didn't get a lot of grants from it because I was working in the military. But we all know that. Why doesn't these HBCUs know that a lot of their Black enrolled students, not all of them, but a lot of them, are dependent on financial aid that doesn't start until the fall? So why would you hem them up in the summertime? It just doesn't make sense to me when they know the federal aid doesn't start until the fall.
Yeah, it don't make sense. It's something crazy going on. Natalie, how you doing? It says Globe Life rather has insurance for your children and adults. That's very affordable. The children insurance by unit is usually by the age that they are when you purchase a policy. If you know for a fact it pays out. He says, I know rather for a fact that it pays out. I had a small burial policy on my parents. It paid off when I buried my parents. Yeah. And that's the other thing too, Natalie. I think a lot of people have an issue with life insurance. Oh, life insurance is a scam. Oh, this, that, and the other. It's like, you got to realize life insurance companies wouldn't be around if they're taking people's money and not honoring things. Usually maybe sometimes people have an issue with the life insurance agent who maybe wasn't above board or was doing something, crazy, some chicanery or whatever it is. But for the most part, the insurance company, they're regulated. They have to do certain things. Now, again, like I said, some agents might be, doing something they ain't supposed to be doing. But yeah, life insurance company will pay out if you have the policy current, right? It hasn't lapsed. Even then, you usually get about 30 days. They'll call you. Trust me, I was on the other end of that. Hello, Mrs. Johnson. Your policy is about to lapse. You got about, another day or two. Oh, I'm going to make a payment. And then Miss Johnson died and her kids called talking about, well, I'm just trying to check on my mama policy. Oh, yeah, your mama lapped the policy. And then this is what happens. Oh, this is a scam. Oh, y'all just took my mama money. And it's like, well, your mom has to pay the premium. And if she doesn't pay it in the 30 days grace period lapses, then the policy is no longer in effect. That's how, but she been paying. I know she's been paying, but that's kind of how insurance works. You got to keep paying the premium, right? You don't need to pay it no more.
And let's not even talk about that again. Since we're talking about all this insurance, come on, you got car insurance you got to have. You can't even, I don't know about other states. I know in California, if you're We got a lot of people riding dirty here, but that's because they come from other countries. But a lot of people ride dirty. You got to have car insurance to register your car. You got to have that. House insurance. Black women are the biggest group of people buying homes and losing homes on both sides of the article. That's true. You got to have insurance for these homes to get that bank loan, right? There's insurance in dental insurance. I mean, you got to have insurance for everything you're doing now. It just doesn't make sense to me. And again, back to these poor young people, and it's really bad in our community to where we can't even go to the church anymore, to the benevolent fund, and get help to bury these. And you want to know why we can't go to the church? A lot of us can't go to the church because we're not in the church. It's very sad.
Hell, even if you're in the church, you've been hearing about people, mamas can't be buried there unless they pay the pastor something and all this other foolishness. Grandmama been going to the church since, Jesus was there as well. And then they tell her, oh, no, well, your grandmama is, your grandmama stopped paying the tithes about 6 months ago. See, that's when they think Jesus turned over some tables. I turned over more than some tables up in there. He talking about my grandmama can't be buried up in here, and if she got to pay. Mama Gloda Dean got to pay, and she been here it's stomping on grapes before Welch's grape juice came along. My grandma been stomping on the grapes, making crackers with her hands, and she got to pay. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Yeah, so I don't know. Hey Nana, how you doing? Says love your show, Vicky, but I think you meant Demetra. But hi, we love Vicky as well. Africanator, I ain't got no sense. One who cares says they ride dirty here in the Lou, St. Louis. Yeah. I could say I just don't even know. Like insurance is something we all got to pay for. Wouldn't it be nice if you could say, like back in the Westerns, right? That's why they call a living room because you used to be able to have a wake, right? It's kind of play on words. But when somebody died, you stand them up or in a casket in the living room, right? People walk by, oh, she wasn't mean, oh, whatever it was, right? Back in the Westerns. But then you got things called regulation where you can't just back the station wagon up to the funeral home or the morgue and saying, we're ready to pick up mama. Okay, we're going to bury her in the backyard. We got a spot there for her next to the cat. They're like, nah, you got to do some things. You can't just, because we don't know what you're going to do with the body, right? We need to make sure mama is taken care of, so you can't do that.
Yeah, then you got to worry about, like, was she murdered? They got to do the autopsy. They got to make sure there was no foul play involved. Because some people get buried really quick under suspicious circumstances.
Right, mom. Yeah, she died at the house, but you ain't got to come get her. Don't you worry. Yes, my husband, he's no longer with us. Don't worry, we're going to bury him. They were like, well, ma'am, we got to check on him, make sure he's okay. They show up. He got a frying pan dent in his top of his head. Pow. Don't worry about that. It was natural causes. I got tired of his natural black. Anyway, Anita, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Al says Louisiana pastor Dale Bronner went to jail for stealing $340,000 for his church, and he should be going there. That's where he should be. And no worries, Nana. I knew you meant me. I was just joking with you.
Yeah, but Demetra, in all seriousness, with this situation with our young adults that are now, let's just face it, our parents' generation, they're kind of checking out of here. Our generation is now the elder generation in excess of them. What are we teaching our children's generation? I mean, how do we move forward from this type of foolishness and this unnecessary loss of life, especially among our young women? Like I said, because like you said, the community is centered around the women. The women are the most influential group of people within a community. And you've got this young lady who thought it was no problem to go with her nieces and boost and do whatever she's doing. I mean, what do we do at this point?
Timothy, how you doing? He says, do you wrong for the death jokes? I know. My mom used to always say, people are always dying to get into the cemetery. Anyway, but yes, I my daughter, I have to credit her with this. She always talks about natural selection. Natural selection, for the way I understand it, the way she described it to me, is there's just some people, hey, Sister Sunlight, how you doing? There's just some people who do things to help get themselves out of here, you know, like bungee jumping, a tightrope walking over Niagara Falls, or whatever it is, I don't know. And some people just ain't gonna make it. And we have to be okay with that. Okay. You're given the knowledge and things of, hey, you might not want to stick a fork in the socket. So if you stick a fork in the socket and then you go up to glory or down below, then you wanted that. What can we do? Okay. That's called natural selection. So sometimes, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you gotta think, right? 5 times before you speak. I've seen, and I've even said, then, Nuri Muhammad, think 5 times before you speak, before you act, right? Just all those things. So I would imagine if you're thinking about going to boost out of an Old Navy or wherever, you might want to think about those things. Might I get caught? If I get caught, am I going to go to jail? I always ask people to think about, what's it going to cost me? What's it going to cost me if I go into Old Navy and I boost with my nieces? Are we going to get caught? Are we going to go to jail? Are we going to have a charge? Am I going to mess up my life? Maybe I want to get a job and then this boosting charge comes up. I can never work in the field of financing, dealing with any money, nothing like that, because that's going to come up, right? I'm a thief. Am I going to ruin life for my nieces? Am I corrupting them? Or worse, might somebody die? Might we get into an accident on this freeway because I'm, taking off like a bat out of hell? What is this going to cost me over some Old Navy funky t-shirts or whatever it is I've been in Old Navy. I just can't think of anything that I'm a run. I just can't. Right. So I think we have to be all right with it. If you know better and you don't do better, what can you do? Yeah, Johanna, yeah, we got to count the cost, charge it to the game. What can you really do? Like, if some people's minds you just can't change. Can we concede that there's some people's minds, which Marcus Garvey said when we were going back to Liberia, not us, but our people, right? We were all gonna, he was trying to unite the diaspora, get away from these people. He says there are some people, black people, Negroes, that are no good here, and they will be no good when we go. So some people have to be left behind. So we just got to be all right with that. There's, you got good wisdom. Most of us got a mama, grandmama, granddaddy, daddy, somebody, uncle, a pastor, somebody has imparted. Donovan, you've been in the military for 1,000 years. You know people who gave you good advice and wisdom. So we can't really say, right, well, I didn't know better. I didn't know. Why you didn't know? You didn't want to know, okay? So when somebody says, hey, you might want to live an upright life, the road to salvation is narrow, the road to hell is wide. Most people on the road to hell, which basically means everybody is, a lot more people are doing bad than people are doing good. So the road that are people doing good doesn't need to be that wide. But as they say too, y'all gonna bust what hell wide open. So there's some people who are just hell bent on, no pun intended, busting hell wide open. So what can you really do? Donovan, you give your children good advice and your nieces and nephews. If they take it, they take it. I give my daughter, niece, and nephews, and the people that'll listen to me good advice. If we take it, we take it. If you don't, then you go do the voodoo you do so well, okay? And you deal with the cards that you deal yourself. We know there's a lot of people in prison who said, damn, had I only listened. Donovan, you spent some time going to visit a young lady who, just, it was sad, right? And you would tell me the stories. I wouldn't go with you, but you would tell me how you knew her. Right. And she was upstanding.
She was one of my young troops, in the wrong place. Go ahead and
tell the story.
Yeah, I'm sitting at home. Of course, I've been here forever. Home of record, whatever the deal is. And I get this letter from this troop. And I had a lot of troops. I really couldn't remember this particular person. And she happened to be here in the Corona Women's Prison, which isn't far from my house. It's like maybe a 30 or 25-mile drive or whatever it is. And so she was in the prison. And I was like, what? And so she asked me to come visit her, and I came to go visit her, and I couldn't believe it. This girl hadn't been out of the military not even 3 years. And I vaguely remembered her because we would give them, of course, the basic briefing. What are you going to do when you get out? Blah, blah. And we always try to tell people, if you join the military because you want to get out of a bad situation where you came from, why the hell would you go back there after your time? But people do, right? Familiarity is what it is. So the girl was in there, and she told me the story of she was in love with her boyfriend, and she was in the car, and they were riding up in Northern California, Vallejo, and shit went left real quick, and she spent, I think it was 6 years in prison, something like that. It was like she was about to get out. So
I think she did a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, it was at least 6. I know she was in there for a minute, and yeah, her prime years gone. For this dude that she was, whatever, and it's sad because you think about it. From what she told me, she was just in the car, and somebody got hurt and killed, and in the robbery of a Circle K, and it just ruined her life. It ruined her life. And think about this: as a veteran, she lost her benefits. How many of you veterans know that if you get involved in a felony, you could lose your benefits? Scary.
That's why, too, in closing, I'm going to say this. I always tell people there's a book by Sister Soldier called The Coldest Winter Ever. I think you should have your daughters read the book. I have my daughter, my niece, she never finished it, but, I've given that book to so many people, and I've told them to read it, and it's a page turner. Most people I know that read the book read it in a couple of days. That's just how well the book is written. But The Coldest Winter Ever, I won't give it away, is about a girl named Winter. She's about 15, 16, and, the rest is history. But I say it's very graphic. I will say that, but I think it's just graphic enough for young teenage girls to read it and get the gist of, see, only in the movies do people get to ride off into the sunset. Yes, Lady D is a great book. Ride off into the sunset. It's just, Miss Sweet, you say it's your favorite book. Ride off into the sunset and everything's hunky-dory, right? But in real life, that's not how it works. And I said, I don't know if that was Sister Soldier's real story. It's supposed to be fiction, right? But I said, that's somebody's story right there. It's the story, in a sense, Donovan told, right? Again, I won't give it away. I think everybody should read it. It's just, I know of some people who that was their story, and you just never know, right? You in love, you think you who riding with Pookie, and boy, I tell you what, I'll be honest with you, that was almost my story once. I tell you guys all about the time, but I won't give it away. But yeah, The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Soldier is one of the best books you'll ever read. I promise you.
Like I said, we just got to make better decisions. At the end of the day, especially those of us that are supposed to be the adults in the room, we got to make the hard decisions, you guys. And you got to be real with yourself. People always ask me to go on my recent trip, right? Went to Panama, went to the DR, came back, whatever. I was just in Hawaii before that. People say, how is Donovan doing all this? Demetra, have you ever seen me ride around in a Mercedes?
Nope.
Matter of fact, my car is over 20-something years old right now. One of my cars, I only got 2 cars, 20-something years old, and I got another car, 2017, whatever it is. I came to the realization that I will never live a lifestyle like a certain rapper or an actor or whatever the deal is. I live within my means, and guess what, you guys? Even though I live within my means, and I try to tell this to a lot of people are stressed out in this world, especially you ladies, because you're living beyond your means. You've got to be honest with yourself and say, man, I'm 56 years old, which I am. It ain't going to get any better than what it is. If I haven't made it to the NBA by now, it ain't going to happen. If you haven't got that rap album out by now, it ain't going to happen. You got to live within your means. A car is a mode of transportation. Now, here in California, a lot of people live in their cars, but it is from the decisions that they make. I'm not a rich man, never aspire to be. I'm just who I am and going to be. And that's the biggest problem. We are trying to live a lifestyle we see on social media. These influencers, they ain't living like that. You best believe that has already been debunked. These rappers in these videos, they ain't living like that. That has already been debunked. We spend so much of our time trying to live a life that is unsustainable rather than telling ourselves, you know what? Hey, I got a decent job. I've got this. I've got that. Hey, I'm good. I'm going to live within these parameters, and I'm going to maybe go on a trip once a year for myself. Maybe do this once a year for myself. But no, we're always trying to, what's that called? The hamster in the wheel. But you're not going anywhere. You're rushing, but you're not going anywhere. The hamster in the wheel.
You talking about the rat race?
Yeah, the rat race. We're in the matrix. If you are at least my age, It ain't gonna happen. You should be preparing to enjoy what little life that might be out there left. You have more time behind you than you do in front of you. I know that for damn sure. And that's our problem. And if you do that, you will find you will have more money in your pocket and you won't be dealing with the problems that you see a lot of these people dealing with right now.
I love it. Live within your means, okay, and live below them, and then you can do some of the things that you want to do. And to that point, and most fed, how you doing? Says stop stealing. Period. I totally agree. And to that, like you said, trying to keep up with the Joneses, and I want this, I want that. Jerry, what's going on with you? Danny, you say, yeah, Floyd Mayweather. Boy, I tell you what, that's a whole different show. But yeah, yeah, people living above their means. I want to keep up with the Joneses, and you don't even know that Joneses can't even keep up with themselves. The Joneses got living a quiet life of desperation, right? The Joneses, after they get out of that big body Mercedes, and you see Mrs. Jones, she got the fur coat on, and she got all these rings on her finger. When her and Mr. Jones closed the door, he talking about, yeah, baby, we're gonna have to hawk them. Yeah, them that we got to go to the pawn shop with that fur and them rings and all that other stuff. And you know we got to put, why you didn't pull a car in the garage? Because you know we don't want to hear that beep, beep, beep backing up to the driveway, because our car, we ain't paid the note in 3 months, right? That's what the Joneses is going through. But the Smiths across the street, like, oh, well, we got to be living like that. You see her purse? She got a big old giant Uchi, Louis, and Gooey, the double G's and the LBs, and you know, and she beat her man over the head. Sucker, why you ain't getting me no purse, right? And he go out there and get her a purse and all these other things. And now they like the Joneses going behind closed doors, fighting with each other and talking about, I don't know why he did. I don't know why that frying pan mark is on top of his head like that. Anyway, here's the coldest winter ever, right? One of the best books you'll ever read. I'm telling you, it's a page turner.
How many of you guys know who Sister Soldier's related to? A lot of people don't even know who she's related to.
I'm not sure who she related to, but I know
he's the little sister of Flava Flav.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, so which is why she probably hung out with PE a lot, right? She was like the honorary member of PE. But yeah, it's a great book. I mean, yeah, some like I say it's teen friendly. I mean, it's back in the day, if you would have asked me this, I would probably say, well, but they watch all kind of stuff or whatever. This book is really, I think, as close as reality as and it's raw. It's supposed to be, right? So yeah, I think it's teen friendly. It just kind of preface it to them and say, hey, if you have any questions, please ask me. But you will read some things in here that's raw, but it's meant to be. I think it's a tale of this is what could happen to you if you don't heed the caution of a lot of pitfalls in life, you know?
Yeah. Sunlight says, how could they be from the same family? Look at them. Look, put their pictures together. Sister Soldier and Flava Flav. That's his little sister. Yeah.
You better stop talking about her.
No. I mean, she's a great. Matter of fact, she had a rap album out, and with that song, "We Were at War." Mm-hmm. She was with the Bomb Squad, all that stuff like that. So a lot of people that don't know that Sister Soldier is her last. Well, Drayton was her maiden name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, Bobby. I heard Jada has a right to it as well. I don't know what's taking them so long because you keep hearing they're going to make it. They're not. Maybe she just wants to make sure it's done right. And I think it should be done right because, boy, the coldest winter ever need to come out right now, okay? This is a book that needs to be, whoever, don't make it cheesy. Don't, please, listen, I beseech thee, whoever thee is, please do not let Tyler Perry get your hands on this script. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know, Tyler Perry, he doesn't really do other people's scripts. He does his own, which is why people are.
We know.
Yeah. So.
We know. Like, what the hell, man? You got all that money. Hire somebody. Hell, you can have my daughter do it. And I know a lot of people who can write. Just listen, Tyler, put the pen down. Put it down.
But the thing is, we are going through the Great Reset, you guys. If you guys have not acknowledged it, if you guys haven't seen it, for those of you guys that are still doing the wealth transfer, sisters, please continue to do what you're doing. It is working. Black businesses are on the rise. The delineation, you know, again, I mean, we've always had this power within us. When we give almost 90% of $3 trillion away every year, that is our power. and it's working. And now people are coming back with a little bit more sense and some respect on the FBA name. And tomorrow, I just want to say this before we go, the extension for the Haitians runs out tomorrow. You're going to see a lot of Operation Mockingbird on the news, a lot of crying, a lot of this, a lot of that. Hey, it is what it is. Temporary means temporary, and that's just how it is. They need to go back and make their country great, and we need less of them here so that our kids have less competition. That's my take on it. So
Yeah, I just, for me, I don't wish anybody any ill will or nothing like that. I just think we should be careful how we frame things, because again, the Haitians, they weren't here illegally up until tomorrow. I guess they'll be here illegally. So they weren't here illegally. They had permission, temporary protected status, hence the word temporary, along with a lot of other people who, it's not just the Haitians. I don't know why they're getting talked about. Maybe they're making the most noise. I don't know.
yeah, there's only 6,000 Syrians that are a part of
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah, but I say that to say, and y'all know how I feel about it. I think if anybody should get protection, it probably should be the Haitians. But there's a lot going on in the country, and unfortunately, because immigration is just so out of control, yeah, there's something that has to be done about it, and really more so, I guess, in modern day history from the Biden administration. But the crazy part about it is, this is what I don't understand, and maybe we could talk about this another time. People are more mad at Trump, and Trump is a douche. Don't get me wrong, for what he's doing with the Haitians, but didn't say anything about Big Daddy Joe Biden, who once the Texas Rangers or whoever the hell they were at the Texas border lassoed them up, the Haitians, right when they came over here. He said, "Oh, we can't afford to keep them here." He got them out of here real quick. I didn't hear not a Democrat up in arms about it. I didn't hear anybody take it to the streets, pissed off, take it to no microphone. So it's like, what is the difference? They were coming over here like everybody else came over here for asylum or better life or whatever, but the Haitians were the wrong color, so I think it deserves a well-rounded conversation.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point. Even now, as the clock is running out, how many Democrats do you see on the news hollering and screaming and complaining and asking for another extension or another bill? You don't see the Democrats saying one word. That's the thing that just throws me out there. They talk about it's a problem, but you don't see them doing one damn thing to speak in their behalf. How many Democrats have you seen online? I haven't seen on any of the talk shows, any of the news things, talking about what a travesty this is. We've got a bill ready to do this and do that. Nothing, nada. This is why we keep telling you guys, these people are playing good cop and bad cop. Let Trump take the hit while Biden, you guys didn't say, again, you're right. They didn't say nothing about Biden. Good cop, bad cop. We'll let this guy take the hit, but we're all trying to do the same thing, get these Negroes up out of here. That's what people got to start realizing.
Absolutely. Yes. They said he had a sister soldier problem, right? And at the top of my head, I'm not quite sure what that entailed. I'd have to look into it. Brian said, "I honestly believe there is imposters impersonating us online that are trying to influence infighting." Absolutely. That's, boy, I'm glad you said it. It's the absolute truth, right? Diane, he says, "Dr. Claude Anderson has always said to practice group economics, and here we are. We absolutely need to do that." Okay, most fed, we get it. We're gonna stop stealing. If you're stealing, they want you to know to stop stealing. I believe we heard the message loud and clear. Thank you for that. Johanny says it undermines us. We should not support illegal immigration. No, I don't support illegal immigration at all. I don't. I don't. I just want to kind of be clear with that.
Haitians were here legally. Don't get that. Legally. Don't get that twisted. Under TPS, it ended. The problem is they kept extending it. In some situations it was extended for all. Some people have been here for 20 years. That's not temporary. And Trump said, done. They went all the way to the Supreme Court. They can't fight it anymore. Temporary is temporary. They got.
And the other thing too is, this is what the problem is. The problem they kind of already did that before the others, the birthright citizenship thing came out. But when the Supreme Court struck down Trump wanting to change the birthright citizenship, the Republicans went back and said, "Hold my beer." Right? because I think at that time they were trying to get 2,000 a day, which is a lot. Then they bumped it up. Last time I heard it was 3,000 a day out of here, and they cutting off their money, all kind of things. They're like the banks. They got bank accounts. They can no longer have it if you're employing people who are here illegally, undocumented. So there's a lot of things that they're doing to really get in the system and make it uncomfortable for people who are especially here illegally. So I knew the Trump administration was going to do that because, for one, you had the Democrats that was hopping up and down with glee that the birthright citizenship was struck down, but they also conceded that, okay, we know that Trump is not going to stop there. The Trump administration, that he going to go, hard in the paint, and that's what they're doing. But you guys got to remember too, I got a video coming out. It ain't out yet, I don't think, but I'm asking the question: would the Democrats back you up if you committed a crime? If Black Americans committed a crime, if you were a Black American criminal, would the Democrats go out into the streets, march and picket and bust into the jails or whatever? Would they do that for you? They would not do that for you, but they're doing that for somebody. They're doing that for what they say the undocumented illegal immigrants. That's what they're doing every day. But you are their most loyal group of voter, and they won't even stand 10 toes down for y'all. Did I show y'all the video of y'all see the, and go ahead, Donovan, the video of when I went to the town hall meeting? It's going to be kind of, let me see if I can find it. Go ahead, Donovan, so I can show y'all.
Yeah, go ahead and find that. And by the way, you guys did hear that South Carolina will be the first state in the Democratic primaries to go and, start the system. You guys want to know why they're going to do that? And this is my opinion, because South Carolina, those old Negroes are very conservative. And what it is they want to, knowing that person who wins that first caucus or that first election, that's going to be in your mind. Again, Operation Mockingbird, look it up. It puts in your mind, these are the candidates to vote for. So whoever wins out of South Carolina by going first, because think about it, why didn't they let Nevada go first or Arizona go first, which has a high Hispanic population? Just like Dimitri just said, Black people are the most loyal voting base. So they chose South Carolina.
All right, so I'm Felicia Kane with the Africanized News Channel, and I am here as a journalist. Unfortunately, I couldn't sit in the front row because my suit, I guess, was giving away to an honorary Black. And that's the other part of the problem, especially with the Democratic Party. We keep talking about this Black and brown, but it's only talking about Black and brown when you want the Black to get together with the brown, but then the brown to get together with the Black. So when our Black folks, the most loyal group of voters for the Democratic Party, actually going to matter? Right now, you can look on any news cycle, any social media, and you're going to see the Democratic Party running around talking about immigration this, immigration that. So what about Black folks? And then they tell Black people, oh, our voting rights are in danger. No, it's not. You can vote. Their seats are in danger. And it should have to work for our votes. Now, as far as Puerto Rico is concerned, I sat here and I took a bunch of notes. And I'm like, okay, this is a pep rally for a man who's in the representative. He didn't even think you guys were important enough to show up and say, hey, I want to hear you. Just started showing up not too long ago. So, and he's going to promise $25 million to do what exactly? If I was y'all, okay, and I could vote on Puerto Rico too, I would say, hey, let people don't hate the most, get you in office. And if you want Black folks to show up, you put your money where your mouth is, spend that $25 million for Black folks, and then we'll have a reason to show up. But for spaghetti, fish fries, and whatever else, that ain't getting. Because on my drive here, I'm like, wow, the third ward is messed up. And he wouldn't even drive to hell. It mess up the tires. Your mind is jacked up. You can drive in. He don't drive over here and say, hey, Black folks, I know you might be the most loyal group of voters, but I don't care that much about you. I sent somebody else, and he don't relate to me about what they said. So y'all better wake up. That's what I'm saying about the Democratic Party. Wake up. Tell them nothing for these people who won't help everybody else is working. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Jackson. Okay, Miss Jackson. Yes. And if you guys don't understand when I say that, when I brought Demetra to my city council meeting, which was a clown show, and it's always a clown show, there was a lady named Miss Jackson, and she was hollering and screaming after the fact. So, Demetra, big ups to you for going out there. I don't know if that was a city council meeting or was that a black woman unity meeting. All I saw was with black women.
I mean, there was some black dudes there too.
Fellas, you got to do better.
And let me tell y'all, like I said, I took a bunch of notes, but it was a pep rally for James Tallarico. And I like, there was so much I wanted to say. They only gave you 2 minutes, but I wanted to say, black men, y'all like how these black women talk about y'all? The one black lady, her name is Ashley Etenay, I think her name is. And hey, Sister Cynthia, thank you so much for that. It was 3 black women. It was Ashley Etenay. She's Kamala Obama's something, and I seen it, all this other stuff, right? And Tracy Gibson, she's some Democratic first black woman. She couldn't let us forget that. County chair of Houston, Harris County, something. And then some other lady, Shamir or something, I don't know. And they talked about the same thing. They took about an hour, 30 minutes or so talking. And then I was like, okay, this is a glorified pep rally, because they were supposed to have the public come out and speak their opinion about how they felt about James Tallarico or whatever it was. But boy, black men, y'all ain't got a prayer in the Democratic Party. I'm going to tell you right now, just listening to that. Ashley Etney says, and 22% of black men in Texas voted for a racist. And if the 92% this, the black women this, and the black women that, and black men, and we got to get black men on board. I was like, how y'all black men sit up in here under all this and allow these black women in the Democratic Party to talk about y'all like that? Hell, the black man voted right behind the black woman to the tune of 78%, but the black man, guess y'all didn't do enough. It's y'all fault that Kamala didn't get in office, right? And I felt bad for y'all. So I wanted to ask the brothers that, do y'all like how these women talk about y'all? And then I made the spaghetti comment because Jolanda Jones, that's who that was. She was like, being a comedian, you got to feed black people spaghetti. Get food. You feed them spaghetti, they'll show up. You got to feed them. And that's why I said the spaghetti and the fish fry, right? Because that's what you get is spaghetti. And I'm like I said, I'm not no spaghetti eating chick. But that's what they had. Somebody, mama made some spaghetti or whatever it was. But the fact that she said that and she just kept on with, black folks, we ain't on CPT time. Now, mind you, it was a whole bunch of other people there. And I made the comment about I was supposed, because she said black media is black media here. I stood up, come sit in the front. So I'm on my way, sitting in the front. Oh, I couldn't sit there because I think they were Indian, 2 Indian ladies sitting in the front. And so when it was time for the black media to stand up and introduce yourself, I stood up, but she never acknowledged me. The Indian lady says, I'm not black, but I'm here with the media. And you know what Jolanda said? Oh, that's okay. You're an honorary black. That's why I made the comment. And she looked like, huh? Like you said, lady, I'm not gonna have to lie on you. Everybody heard you say it. And y'all, she's an honorary black. So that's what I said. Y'all giving our seats away to honorary blacks. Like, what are we doing? And why are y'all okay with her taking a seat that was meant for black folks? Because they allow everybody to come up in our spaces. That was supposed to be a town hall for black I'm not a Democrat, but black voters, right, to speak their mind. But here this lady is who's not black sitting there, and she admitted, I'm not black, but I took a seat, and what? Oh, that's okay. You an honorary black. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of those women that are talking greasy about black men, if you listen to them, those are the women we talk about that have taken the feminist agenda. They just hate men, period. Because you wouldn't talk about men like that if you really cared about it. If you have a son, or if you have nephews that you care about. I've never heard you talk greasy about black men, because you got a brother, you've got brothers, you've got nephews and stuff like that. This is what we mean about this feminist BS that these women teach the next generation, that it's, just the vitriol in how they talk to us.
It was horrible. I'm telling you, my daughter went with me, and Donovan will tell you, because me and Donovan get together. My daughter, she's more like the parent. She was like, hey, y'all, hey, okay. So my daughter was like, don't get the cutting up in here, because I was just like, I'm one of those things, and Donovan's worse than me, okay. So I'm one of those people, when I hear stuff, I have to compose myself, like, what? Huh? And my daughter kept looking like, she kept giving me the look like, I wish you would. But I was just like, God, I feel bad for brothers. I really do. There's nothing y'all could do with the Democratic Party that would be good enough. I guess if y'all would have voted to the tune of 93%, then maybe I don't know. But they just, man, those brothers, sitting up in there and ain't nobody mad about it. I mean, there was some, that I said hello to. And a brother came up to me actually after I got through speaking. He goes, and I guess he's with the media. He says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you didn't have a seat. I would have got up." I said, "Brother, you black. You black." I said, "You supposed to sit there." He goes, "Yeah, you right." I'm like, "I wasn't talking to you. The who I was talking to knew who I was talking to. You took a black seat and you bragged about doing it. So yeah, but I plan to go out to more of those. I
Hey,
plan to be out and about.
not just you, but like I said on my podcast, how the hell do you guys live in a community and you don't even know what is going on in the community? How do you know what's going on in the community? You go to the planning commission, you go to the city council meeting and put your stuff on record. And if you can't go because you're working your ass off, you send an email and it's read into the public record. Demetria, did you see my video where I finally got Adrian Mitchell a bathroom?
Yes.
12 years. It took me 12 years to get a bathroom at my local park over here. I tried shaming. I tried yelling and screaming. I tried everything that I had to do. After 12 years, they finally said, "You know what? We had enough of this." And by the way, I have the best streets in the city in my neighborhood because I give them hell.
Yeah, Donovan gets it done. Brother Sam, that it was not as clear. Next time when I go out, I have to go with like a microphone and stuff with me. It's because people were talking. Some of that was these black girls' magics. They and Sister Cher, she spoke before me. Jolanda had to stop her because there's a lot of people in the crowd that like what she was saying. Sister Cher was like, Democrat is with the LGBT trans and illegal immigration and all this other stuff. And that's not true. That's not true. Right. And so she said, "Nah, I invited people to speak so they can speak their mind." So she had to tell them, "Hey, be quiet." But that was people doing all that yipping and yapping. So that's what I said. Y'all pay attention to that when these people, because there's a lot of candidates there looking for the black vote. Right. But when these people ask for your vote, you keep it in mind, they don't even care to hear what the public has to say. Y'all just shut up and show up and vote and let us do all the talking. But that's why it wasn't clear. So I apologize for that.
Right. And I'm going to tell you guys this. You go to most city council meetings, other than maybe the representative, if you're lucky, there's a black one in there. And I can only speak for California. The Hispanics, they show up. And that is why here in California, you've got idiots out here, representatives out here that say, "Well, these people pay tax. Yeah, they're illegal, but maybe we should look to see if they should vote." We don't show up. We want to holler and scream when we see the resources going to all the other groups because we do not show up. And when you don't show up, it shows you that you're not interested in what's going on, and they allocate the dollars to the people who want them. The money is there. You just got to show up and let them know that your presence is and hold them accountable. It's simple as that. Black folks have been gentrified out of California. You want to know why? We don't have any representation. We don't have a political voice. We don't show up, period.
Hey, Brother Damon, how you doing? And once again, Sister Cynthia, thank you so much for that. And Brother Don making spaghetti. I ate earlier, but I'm hungry again.
Yeah, uptight. It took me 12 years because I didn't understand the system. We go in there thinking it's supposed to happen automatically, and it doesn't happen that way. And then depending on who's in power, they get into their ego. "Oh, I don't like Donovan, so we're just going to ignore him, whatever." But I kept coming back. You got to get the right people in, and you guys, I'm going to give you guys the game. The game is this. If you're going to be in politics, if you're going to be in business, let's just forget politics, just business. You got to be gangster. It's all about being a gangster. Why do you think Donald Trump wears the trench coat that he wears? Because he wants to be like a godfather. That is how government is run. It's run at like crooks and businessmen. That's what it's about. And that's how you've got to approach it. It's who you know. It's who you pay off. Look what the developer comes in. What does the developer do when he comes into your community? "Oh, I'm going to buy this for you guys, and I'm going to do this for you guys." Make all of these promises. He pays off. "Oh, I'm going to pay the diffs, and I'm going to pay the taxes on this." He pays off who he needs to pay off, and this is how things get done in the real world. This kumbaya world that you guys think that we live in, it doesn't exist yet. This is how it is. You got to be gangster. So it took 12 years, but yeah. I had to be consistent in what I was doing.
And unafraid, right? You got to be unafraid. There ain't nobody. They work for you. You don't work for them. They work for you. Laura Flawless, how you doing? Says, how do we find out when and where town hall meetings are being held? A lot of times they're online. If you talk about your city hall, usually they have one every 2 weeks or a frequency like that. So you just
twice a month. And if you don't know,
yeah.
go to your city website. All of that is online now, right? So you don't even have to show up. They even tell you the agenda. You can read what they're going to be discussing, and then you send an email. And you don't just send an email to the clerk. You send it to the clerk, to your representative, and to the mayor directly. That way you have 3 copies of what you said and what, and it goes in there. You just got to play the game. There's no excuse for you not to know what is being built and being done in your city. There's just none.
And at the very least, if you don't want to go, they'll televise it, right? You can watch it online or something like that. So there's ways to get involved. You just have to. And then the city, I saw that one on somebody posted it. And then Sister Cher, she actually said, hey, are you going to be there? I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go. So I reserved a seat or whatever for my daughter and I, and we went. So yeah, I plan to get out a little bit more in the community because that's what I used to do when I was in California, is get out there and have conversations with people and stuff like that. So
yeah, but this time stop laughing and stuff sitting in the when Demetria went with me, she was just in shock.
I was like, it is a circus. This is a Universal Soul Circus. What are we at? You know what I mean? People was acting a damn. What's his name? Raphael. Is that his name? Raphael? That man, boy.
Yeah, and you look. After all of that, he leaves the city. He ended up leaving the city after he got paid off and everything, and did his dirt. He left.
Sound like a damn chihuahua. Allie says, will y'all sing the show's theme song? It's been a while. What show's theme? We got a theme song?
It's so hard.
Cause what would be our theme song? I don't know.
Where my scam is at, blah blah. I don't know. Wait, no. The People's Court.
Today in this corner, you have Donovan Baldy-Lock Sadiq, who was accused of stealing a wig that did not belong to him.
Oh, Pretty Woman. Yeah, we haven't done that one in a long
time. Stupid. Del Monte Green says California is a test state, home of the okie dokie. You ain't lying, boy. Donovan, if y'all want me to come back, you know what you got to do.
We got to fix it. And the first step to fix it is, again, do not support these people that come from other countries because they come with an agenda to support their people. I'm not saying they're all bad, but the fact of the matter is we got to support our interests. Vote for people that are in your interests.
I can't come back to that. I can't. Y'all got, if y'all want me, I know y'all want me back. I know y'all miss me. Okay. I know y'all miss me. If y'all want me to come back.
Without the 5 heartbeats, you can try to riff like me, nigga.
Right. You know what I mean? You trying to beat me? Yes, I'll be chilling. I saw you say you're at a family reunion. It's a family reunion. Did y'all play that song? A family reunion. Did y'all play that?
Yes. A quick public service announcement. Donovan will be heading to New Orleans Thursday. I'll be in New Orleans Thursday, going down to Biloxi. Got to go take care of some business real quick, but I'll be back Thursday night. I'm only going for the day. I'm gonna do a quick turnaround.
What kind of business?
Military business. Military business. I got to see my brother. He's got a package for me that I'm going to need in case something kicks off here in California.
I didn't know they were still doing mail order brides.
Well, red bones are hard to come by. I mean, I think Sweets is one of the last of the red bones running around.
Well, hopefully it ain't no boosting involved. Brother Sam said, did y'all hear the audio of the distress call from Nolan case where someone seems to be calling his name? I've heard all of it. I'm paying attention. I just haven't reported on it because I don't want to be one of the people making noise about a lot of speculations. Nancy Grace is on the case. They say Nancy Grace on the case and it's a wrap. So I am staying abreast and just trying not to report because, like I said, it's just so much information. Oh, by the way, State Senator England from Mississippi, he took exception to what I said under his post because you notice that a lot of these politicians, especially from Mississippi, oh, we're great people. Oh, we don't like that you're saying this about our people. Oh, the investigators, they're great people. The governor is saying stuff. And I'm like, ain't nobody tell you to jump in it, right? So you took to the social media and expressed your opinion. I said, and now you're the victim, please. Oh man, he wrote this long response to me, ma'am. You're the one of the problems. You're the part of the problem. What's going on? And this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. I said, I'm part of the problem. I said, I didn't go out on a boat with another human and didn't return back with him. I said, I didn't have to get a lawyer because I may or may not have done something. I said, but y'all the victim? He didn't like that too much. He got up in his feelings with that one. I'm like, man, you're really mad. But I'm like, this is just nothing but the good old boy syndicate, if you will, protecting itself. I said, I'm trying to figure out a time in history where all these politicians, got something to say. That's the state of Mississippi, right? We know that I'm going to say allegedly working together to cover, because on one hand, the next day, y'all, and that's what I think I said to him, the next day, they said, oh, there's no foul play here. But then when it started getting more attention, now y'all taking forever to come up with the thing. And y'all know when they did the autopsy, they didn't return the baby's throat area and I think his lungs, but they didn't send that back with the body. So the autopsy that Colin Kaepernick paid for, they said is inconclusive because we can't make a ruling with his neck missing. The innards of his neck and I guess his lungs. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but we can't make a conclusive ruling. So why aren't you sending those things back, right? But so you got these good old boys in the state of Mississippi who are saying that, oh, we're making a circus out of these things because we're speculating all this. Oh, hell no. A human being, and we know that, and that's, oh, boy, I tell you what, I made a post about Emmett Till's birthday, 85th birthday yesterday. And these people came unglued, and I talked about their mama, their kids, everybody on my post, because I told them if you come on here with the stuff, I'm going to talk about your mama, okay? I said, I'm going to drag your mama to hell, and some of them tested that theory, and one white dude was like, that's not my wife, that's my daughter. I said, oh, you must forgive me because y'all spoil like milk, so I couldn't tell the difference, right? So he got mad or whatever, but I said, I forget what the post said, but something like, happy 85th birthday to Emmett Till, who was unalived in Mississippi. And then I said, the whole story as to why he's not blowing out candles today, okay? Because we often say happy birthday to this person. Oh, hell no, he was murdered in Mississippi. So Mississippi has a history of unaliving Black folks, and it has a history also of covering up with the misdeeds that they do to Black people. And then now that they're being called out, and they really mad with Nancy Grace, right? Now that they get called out, it's, oh, you guys are picking on us. It's like, man, F you and your mama, okay? There's a whole Black human being that's missing, or not missing, but mysteriously come up unalive, and you don't want nobody to question you again. And you don't want nobody to question you? Who do you think you are? You can take a life and nobody's supposed to say nothing to you.
Well, I got a question for you, Demetri, real quick. I know we're running over time, but we got time. You've got Black state representatives right there in Mississippi. You've got Black congressional members. You've got Black Senate. Well, I got a couple Black senators. But the point is, you got the CBC and all these things. I haven't heard much rattling from any of these. And I'm talking about the state senators and the state representatives. I haven't heard statements. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard demands. I haven't heard Roland cover this. I haven't heard any of this stuff. Why is it that when something happens to a Black citizen in this country, the representatives that we send to represent us and to speak on our behalf are always so damn silent?
Well, in all fairness, I saw that Hakeem Jeffries made a statement about it. He was reading, of course, made a statement. It has nothing really, but he said something. They won't say nothing because they know us. Like I said, they study us. They know that we will get comfortable and quit, right? How is it that you watch a Black man be lynched? I can't really say that word, but in the middle of the street, George Floyd, and then we go back to being comfortable. We quit and we went to be back to being like, that's one of the worst things that I've seen in my life. One of them, okay? I got things think off top. That's one of the worst things I've seen in my life. And I would think a lot of people would say that was probably one of the worst things, close to it, things they've seen in their life. And we went back to being comfortable. So we also allowed Well, I'll show it to you. Hold on a second. We got a little bit of time, right? Donovan's been missing in action. We'll stay just a tiny bit over time with y'all. Let me find it, okay? I'm gonna show you exactly what happened. And then we said, oh, okay, cool.
Hard to get up.
And we went back to being comfortable. We quit, right? And yes, in all fairness, Roland has been covering the Nolan Martin, Nolan Wells. No, Nolan
Yeah,
Wells, he
but
has been covering
yeah,
it.
he's covered it, but covering it and being advocating for it are two different things. That's what I'm
No, I
saying. He's
think he
not
is. I think he's
into
having,
it.
yeah, he is. He's having conversations with Ben Crump and the
Mhm.
family, if I'm not mistaken. I don't follow Roland, but I believe that he did have them on. So he is delved into the case. I will say that he is. Yeah. Yeah.
And I want you
So
guys also real quick to do not be fooled. These Democratic shills are starting to take our talking points and all this other stuff, and they're starting to say everything that we were saying in the last two election cycles. Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, get yours. Voting is transactional. Oh, sit on the couch. All of these things because they're not getting their checks and it's not working because you guys are getting that message out, and we're waking up. We're one person at a time, but we're waking up.
Del Monte Green Beans, you said you want to talk to me. You want to talk to me? Where you want to talk to me? Tell me the time and the place, and I'll be there. Yes, Nikki says, yeah, he has been talking about it. Like I said, I'm not really a fan of Roland, but I give Roland his props. I think he's a great journalist and things like that. I just think he hasn't I don't think he's done the black community a great
He hasn't
service
been consistent.
by the shilling. Yeah, Albie Chill, get yours. Johanna rather, he says they kneel and bow as long as they don't have to make us whole or change laws. Yeah, we went and it's like, okay, well, that sounds good to me. Reverend Magazine OG says, I don't like Don Lemon, but he has been doing a good job covering the Wells case. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys see the
I
Don
agree.
Lemon
Yeah.
show? Him and Joy Reber on there, and they were just telling the business of how the black executive in the news media suppressed like what they really wanted to say, and this was like a black executive was telling them, no, you can't talk about this and you can't talk about that, and they were kind of. Why does it take them being fired or off the network to stand up for what's right?
Well, because
I get it,
yeah.
non-disclosure and all this. I get all that stuff, but sometimes, damn all that. Tell the truth, and it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah. Uh, Go Cry Eyes, how you doing? He says, I'm hearing mainstream media sounded like the real right. Yes, and brother Don, is it your birthday? I saw somebody say happy birthday to you. My triple OG moderator. Is it your birthday? If it is, happy birthday to you and many, many more. I'm gonna tell y'all something about Brother Don. Brother Don is not just a triple OG moderator, but he is one of the triple OG. I call y'all my family, right? Triple OG family members of this channel. Brother Don has been rocking with this channel for a very long time. Let's see, Brother Thunder. I know a lot of y'all been here a long time, but I'm talking about the OGs, Brother Thunder. And we don't know where the pioneer is at, right? He been missing. I know Moni mad with me. She'd hang out with Donovan on his channel, right? Her brown sugar boo, bubbling brown sugar, all this stuff that just a lot of y'all just been rocking with us when it was like what 30 of us on here. Hey,
About 30, right there.
Yeah, we was happy, right? Had like 20 people. Yeah. But it was a great conversation. So I will say, Brother Don, I've not met you yet, but I hope that I do. But even though I never met you, I love you dearly. And I just love that you've been with us and you've watched the show grow from a few people to, a lot more people. I'll say that. So I hope that you have a wonderful birthday. I really do. Alex says Pascal does a great job covering the Wells. Pascal, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that's covering the Wells case, and good. People should be covering it because we cannot, especially as a black community, allow them to continue doing that. Mississippi has a problem. And that's why I put the hashtag Mississippi Goddamn, because that was a song by Nina Simone, right? And Mississippi has a horrible history that has never gone away with how they treat Black people. So they don't like that the attention is being put on their state. But we're also learning with Carmelo Anthony, the system is being exposed for the horrible things that they've done, and they work together. But I heard, I don't know how true it is, the medical examiner and the one that examined Nolan Wells's body also did a few others, and she ruled it to be, things that they did to themselves or no foul play, all this other stuff. It's like, lady, what you got going on, right? Because don't forget, a lot of times they women be in cahoots with the foolishness too. So we're going to learn a lot about the system of white supremacy and just how deep and evil it is. But guess what? Their time is up. It is. That's why we're learning about these things. So shout out to everybody that's covering it. I'm just choosing not to cover it right now because I don't want to be another one adding a bunch of speculation, because there's a lot of speculation out there. And I don't want to do that, because I would imagine that his family will want the truth as much as possible to get out and not have to weed through all of the hearsay, the naysay, and all of that. So I'm watching, but I am paying attention. So yes. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. And Dalmani Greenby says, I was around, but I had to move around and miss certain details during the early live streams. Yeah, so I said a lot of y'all, Al, you've been around for a very long time. A lot of y'all been around. So like I said, Brother Damon been around. I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I know I don't say it enough, but I do. I'm not just saying this because it's something to say, it's fashionable. I really do love y'all, because I know on a Sunday afternoon, evening, there's a lot of things that you could be doing, but you choose to spend it, even if it's just a moment here. It means a lot to me. And it's a huge reason why I do it. I know it's a huge reason why Donovan does it as well. And I'd be remiss too if I did not say, while I had a little bit of a history of going viral and things like that, and I was on Facebook, had it not been for Donovan, I would not have come to YouTube when I did. I had a channel, it was nothing major, right? But Donovan was the one really putting his foot to my backside and saying, hey, in fact, this fool would call me Farrah Queen. I'm like, what? Farrah Queen, okay? And so he was like, yeah, you got to get this message out to more people. So yes, credit to Donovan. Donovan has been here from the very beginning. So yeah, so all of y'all, you guys, this is our show. It's not my show. It's our show. So anyway.
And I still haven't got your sister yet. That was the whole point of getting you here, to get closer to her. I don't know what's going on.
Keep hope alive. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.